Well, the fashion industry has always been dominated by young models. Older teens and young adults are the faces of the catwalk, but a French fashion label is now being criticized for going too far. Take a look at this, a lingerie line introduced for children. The outfits border on designs you would see in Victoria's Secret. A lot of people are calling it disturbing and accuse the fashion label of trying to sexualize children. For reaction now, we go to Los Angeles and Nicole Clark. She's a former model and the filmmaker behind the documentary Cover Girl Culture. And there are actually pictures that are a lot more shocking than that. What do you make of it? I mean, you've been in the industry. When you see pictures like this, what do you think?
I think it's shameful, it's disrespectful for children, and it's a sign of the times and how we've gone so far and pushed the envelope so far with the advertising industry to shock and awe society to get attention that now they're exploiting children. And this didn't happen 20 years ago, even 15 years ago.
But we've been hearing a lot about it lately, and falling, of course, on the heels of the French Vogue cover, in which there's a girl, I think she's something like 10 years old, and this is when the debate came up again. How does this happen in the first place? How do we let it happen?
That's a good point. It's happened because we've allowed it. As society, we've become apathetic. We've sort of given up our power to allow these images to exist in the first place. And pedophilia is not art. So French Vogue and the other commercials like this here in America, I've seen it in the last decade. It's been growing and growing, and it's because we've not raised our voices and spoken up and taken action.
You said 20 years ago we wouldn't see something like this, but of course youth has been part and parcel of what fashion, what modeling is all about. When you were modeling yourself, what pressures did you feel in that pursuit of eternal youth?
Actually, I was fortunate that I wasn't told, and the standards back then were actually a little bit healthier, and now today we've got size 0, but I was actually told not to speak on jobs. Don't let people know I was intelligent, and that led me to understand that people would like you to play like you're a vacuous, empty, mindless person, and that's a negative image and message to be giving young girls in the first place, and to exploit girls to the point now where we're sexualizing children. Our children's well-being needs to come before corporate profit. The advertisers and media in general are setting the bar very low for society, and this is the lowest it's gone. And we need to say, no, not on our watch. This can't happen anymore. And I know I speak for many parents and many educators across the nation that these images we don't get to debate whether or not they're okay, acceptable, inappropriate. It's children, they're being exploited.
And Nicole, I imagine this is a huge theme of your documentary. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yes, with Cover Girl Culture, I wasn't aware when I first started on the journey about the sexualization of girls in media until I interviewed girls in Canada and Los Angeles and Florida and spoke to parents and educators and heard these complaints that girls were being sexualized. Even on children's programming, they were having teen girls dressing very provocatively, and even the children in the shows were dressing like teens were dressing. So little parents were having little girls wanting to wear this inappropriate clothes that would attract attention from men in society, and looking at their girls and objectifying children now and seeing them as sexual objects. And this translates into young girls now believing that their value and what is upheld in society is being thin, sexy, and pretty.
And it's tough, especially if you're a parent, because you're bombarded with all these images, especially now. So you really, especially if you have a daughter, you have to really make sure that that daughter is growing up with a positive self-image. Nicole Clark joining us from Los Angeles this morning. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure and a privilege. Thanks.